My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, May 12, 2025, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen. That's a Dutch word for crafty adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, I think I love to sew. And I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. Okay, I had an interesting knitting and crochet week. I was casting on all the things. In my last episode I shared my plans for my cast on party. I'm in the middle of my cast on party and yeah, I am really having fun, so I will share a little bit about it. I won't deep dive into every project because that would be way too much, but I have some details I want to share with you. I also found some time for finishing a pair of socks. I have another finished object I want to show. I did some modifications on a finished object I want to share. Let's see. I will visit a very exciting event, for me exciting event in November in Switzerland. I will tell you all about that in this episode. But let me start with what I'm wearing and let me start with my hair because my hair. My haircut is a little bit different, a little bit shorter than it was last week. I visited my hairdresser and yeah, my hair is gone. It's quite dramatic. I don't like it really. No, I don't like it. It's way shorter than I want it to be. I love to have a lot of hair, a lot of curls, but to keep my hair healthy, a good cut every now and then is absolutely necessary. But this time it was a very short cut. And I feel so uncomfortable with my new hair. I always do after visiting a hairdresser, and it was a little bit worse this time because the difference in length. I don't like it, and I especially don't like making episodes. I was editing last week and I thought, oh no, and I will have that today. I must confess, it has been a few days, almost a week, and my hair is becoming a little bit more me right now. In the beginning, my curls, I think they were quite angry on me. They did hide, and I absolutely understand them because I let them cut off. But they are coming back a little bit right now. It's just my identity is in my hair. So when I cut off my hair, where's my identity? That's always confusing me quite a lot. And it will be better. Within a few weeks I will be happy, and it is the right haircut to grow. So I can grow my curls and have longer hair. And then we have to start over again. So, okay. But you're not here for my hair. So let's start with the crochet top I am wearing. It is very summery weather here in the Netherlands. It's 25 degrees and it's quite warm for this time of the year. So I am wearing quite summery clothes because it is just needed. I feel a bit exposed, thank you for the word, but because my skin is not sun-kissed yet, but it is really not nice to wear a lot of clothes. I don't love warm temperatures. I get overheated quite quickly, so clothing the right way is very important to me. This is the Rumours vest. It is a pattern by Claudine Powell from the Iron Lamp, and it's a top-down one piece. Is it a raglan? No, it's not a raglan. There are no sleeves. How could it be a raglan? But it is an interesting construction. I had no idea what I was doing when I was casting it on. A few years ago I made 3 of those. I really love to wear those, and I all made them plain. But I think they would be lovely with different colored stripes too. And yeah, it's just a lovely colored, lovely scalloped hem, and also the shoulder straps have that hem, so really lovely. I also am wearing a new skirt, which is really making me happy. So let me start with a little story, because in my intro, I am always struggling with saying I love to sew or not, because I'm a wannabe sewer. I have beginner sewer skills. I can sew skirts and dresses, but I am always confused. Do I love it or not? No, that's not true. I'm not confused. I don't really love it. But I realized I love to wear handmade sewn items. And I realized it doesn't make sense to keep telling myself I don't love sewing if I do want to sew. Stop telling I don't love it. And that made me think, why don't I love it? Why do I not love it? And I realized that it's because I think I cannot do it good enough. And that was interesting when I started thinking about it. Why do I think I cannot sew good enough? Because I can sew skirts, I can sew dresses. I have done that the past 2 years. I'm sorry for the noise. I have no idea how good you can hear it, but our neighbors, they are getting a new floor and they are working all day, and every now and then they are making noise. So yeah, we have to do with it today. I realized I think I don't sew good enough because I am too sloppy. I am a sloppy sewer. If sloppy sewing would be a style, it would be my style. And I realized this weekend that I can decide that's my style. I'm a sloppy sewer. Because when I ask myself the question, do I want to sew my skirt very good or very quick? So quick and good at the same time, that doesn't work for me. I think I cannot even sew very good on a slow tempo, so I definitely cannot do it on a quick tempo. But I really felt that I wanted to make it quick because I wanted to wear it. And last summer, just one night before we left on holiday, I did sew a skirt in one night. And that was very interesting because it was the most sloppy skirt I have ever made, but it was also the most hard jumping skirt I have ever made. I did wear it all summer and it was making me so happy, and it was sloppy. The seams were wonky, I did cut wonky, the fit was not right because I did modify a pattern the same as I have done now. So it didn't make sense, but it was hard jumping to me. So I realized making a very neat sewn skirt is not necessary to make it hard jumping. So then I better focus on what it's most important to me at this point, and that's make a quick sewn wardrobe. And maybe later, if I have all the skirts, I can focus on sewing more neater and better. And until then, sloppy sewing is my style. So I did sew a sloppy skirt, which is not looking sloppy at all, only if you really focus on the details, but we will not do that, so there's no problem. Let me show it to you. I don't know if you can see me a little bit lower, so you can see the length. Yeah, I think you can just see my feet. Okay, this is my own modification of the songbird skirt. A songbird skirt with a lot of Sarah sauce. The songbird skirt is a pattern from Sew Liberated. I made 2 last summer. I really love the pattern. I really love the look of the skirt. The pattern is very good, beginner friendly to me. I really love it. But it feels a bit festive to me. I want straight skirts too. And I realized I really like the upper part of the songbird skirt. I am absolutely in love with the pockets. Those are my favorite, the pockets. Very deep pockets. And I love the construction. I love to have my hands in my pockets because I can wave my skirt. I love to wave. I don't know if that's the good word, but I don't like to feel overheated, and this is really cooling me down. So I'm doing this all the time. It really feels lovely. But I just used the upper tier from the songbird skirt. I did that before, so I did share a little bit more about it in earlier episodes. And I just made it into a straight skirt. But the problem was it was too narrow at the bottom. I could only take small lady steps, and I did do that last summer because the hard jumping skirt I was talking about was one of those. But now I did cut them off, and I'm wearing those with my maillot, my panty, no, my tights. But I really prefer to wear longer skirts in summer. My legs are quite wide. I don't feel really secure about my legs. And also, I love the feeling of the fabric waving against my legs. It's just, it gives me such a good, it's a heart jumping feeling. I can't really describe. It just, you need to feel. So I had a leftover of double gauze. I will share a little bit more about that later. And I wanted to try some modifications. I did some, oh, what's this called? In Dutch we call it rimpelen. Oh, I know there's a term for it in English, of course. Gathering? No, I'm not quite sure. You know what I mean. I did apply a little bit more of this. That's not in a pattern, it's just my own touch, my own sauce. And now I think it's okay. When I just put it on yesterday when it was finished, I was not completely happy. I was not sure about the length. I love to wear my skirts high-waisted, but it was quite short then. So I thought, let's wear this one low-waisted, and my tops are mostly quite cropped, so there is a little spot left, and I always wear tank tops under it, so you see a little black stripe, but I think that's okay. Also, my skirt felt really wide when I just finished it, but after wearing it yesterday evening and today, I think it's better. It's a very lightweight fabric, and yeah, it is a big skirt. It is a big skirt, so it also looks big. That's not very weird, and I really love to wear this. So let me tell you a little bit more about the fabric. Oh, and the buttons. I did buy some buttons at the knitting event. Little tiny wooden buttons. I love the look of them. I did apply a fake button band. And I know you can also make a little opening. In Dutch we call it een splitje. I didn't do that, but oh, I was too early with going back. I didn't do that right now. I want to try to make the front pieces in 2 pieces and still do fake buttonholes, but then you have a natural opening at the bottom. Maybe that will work too, so I will try that once, but not today. Not with this one, because I wanted a quick skirt. Okay. My hair. Okay. I did use a leftover double gauze cotton. I bought this last year in several colors at the Dutch online fabrics shop. The link is down below. And I made holiday towels. We did go camping, and we hadn't a lot of space to pack our stuff. And our normal towels are a little bit bigger. They are from that towel fabric. And yeah, they don't dry as quickly as those, and also they take a lot of more space. And I know you have those special traveling towels, but I really, those microfiber stuff, I can't handle that stuff. It's just not feeling good to me. The cleaning things and also the traveling towels, I don't like them on my skin. So I decided to make this from double gauze cotton. We use it in the Netherlands quite often for little babies after bathing them, because it's very soft for their sensitive skins. And I did buy several beautiful colors, and it was actually my plan to make a set for every family member in their own color, so you know which towel is yours. And I made 3 sizes: a small one for the hair, for me and the girls, a bigger one as a shower towel, and a very big one for when we did go swimming. In Dutch we call it a bath towel, which you lay up when you are at the beach or at the swimming pool or whatever, as a little bit of a picnic towel. I don't know if that makes sense. In the end we didn't agree about who got which color, so I made a little embroidery in specific colors. It's here. This is the green one, for example. So there were three different towels with a little green embroidery, so you could check which one was yours. And the very nice thing of double gauze cotton is you can only cut a small piece, and then you can in Dutch we call it scheuren. You can pull it out. You can, yeah, which make that satisfying sound, and it's all straight. So that's really lovely when you are a sloppy sewer, because you have a nice straight line. I'm also a sloppy cutter. So yeah, and then just make little seams, iron them double twice and seam it together. And it was really a quick and satisfying task. And we use them all the time when we go on holiday or little trips. Yeah, they are just very lovely. And I also, when we were walking in the mountains, I also, when we were on holiday, I also brought one with me every time, because I could put it over my shoulders. It was very warm and sunny, so I could protect my shoulders a little bit against the sun. And every time we had such romantic, lovely mountain river, I put my towel in it, and it was very cold and cooling me down when I was overheated while hiking. So it was very good to have some with you every time. Okay, so yeah, I did use the leftover for my skirt. I want to try out some things. I think I'm happy. I would prefer to have it a little bit longer, so I will make my next one a little bit longer. And yeah, it is just so nice to wear it right now, because we will have a warm week all week, I guess. I'm not quite sure, I didn't check. I definitely want to add some more, and it's really nice to experiment with it, and I'm also really happy with the inside. I'm a sloppy sewer, that's my style, and I think I am quite close to saying I love sewing. I love sloppy sewing. Okay, in last week's episode I shared my plans for my spring/summer cast-on party, and the day after that episode I realized it was really important to actually start the casting on process, because it's quite attractive to keep all the yarn and all the patterns in the big basket I collected them in, but actually casting them on, that's what it's all about. So I did start the party on Tuesday. I did cast on at least one project every day, some days 2, I think one day 3, I'm not quite sure. I'm not done yet with casting on. I could have done it, but it was not my #1 priority, a big priority, but I also felt the need to spend some time on my active works in progress. I tried to clear my needles as much as possible, but there were still some socks left, and a sweater and a blanket, and yeah, I really wanted to give them some attention too. And of course I did sew my skirt this weekend, and that also took some time. So I think there are 3 or maybe 4 left. I put them all in project bags, and they are looking very nice. I have a very big, lovely collection of project bags, mainly in vintage flowery fabric. All gifted to me. I'm very spoiled by Dutch project bag makers, so that's really, really heart jumping. And it's really a treat for the eye to see all those projects there. And it's not giving me an overwhelmed feeling. I just work intuitive. When it comes, it comes. When it doesn't come, it doesn't come. And it's absolutely okay when all my knitting time goes to one specific project. The rest will wait. I never casted on so many projects in such a short time, and that really gave me some interesting insights, or maybe an interesting focus. I was focusing on the cast on, the technical cast on party, because all the different projects needed all the different cast ons, and it made me realize again that there are so many options for knitting and crochet. There are endless options, and I think that's overwhelming. I felt it when I was thinking about the magic knot. I thought, this is a magic knot, do I magic knot or not? And then suddenly there were other ways to do the magic knot, and that's so confusing. For one thing, there are so many ways of doing it. How are you able to find your way. You can't try all the ways. How do you find your way? I think that's quite overwhelming. And I'm really happy that some of you every now and then send me interesting suggestions or techniques when you hear me talking about something and you share your own things. I never reply on the comments under my videos, so I always feel a little bit unkind, but it's really, for me, time saving. I really need the time to knit. Making episodes every week is quite time consuming and I can't keep up with the comments, and at one moment I decide I just only give the comments a little heart, and it always feels a little bit uncomfortable because I love the connection and I love it when people spend time on leaving a comment, and I really enjoy the comments. They are heart jumping moments for me because I read all the comments. And if you share a suggestion with me or an advice, I try to search for it or to deep dive in it or to just try it. So thank you a lot when you take the time to let me know some suggestions or just leave some lovely words. I love it. And I apologize for not replying on it, but yeah, you can't do all. Yeah, so I learned a few things during the cast-on party, focusing on the technical cast-ons, and I want to share some thoughts with you. Not all, because that would be way too much, but just some. So let me start with a blanket. I had a blanket episode 2 weeks ago, but I didn't cast on my blankets yet. I haven't found the time for it, so I worked on those last week too, a crochet blanket and a knitted blanket, and I'm all tangled up. This is my yarn basket. In this basket I keep one of my advent calendars from 2024. It's from Atelier Wool Based, a Dutch dyer, and I really love it. And I will knit the Bits and Bobs blanket from KF Jones. My advent yarn held together with one strand of Dundaga yarn. The Bits and Bobs blanket has an I-cord edging, but I really wanted to use an I-cord cast on. I did do that on my past, present and future blanket, and I really loved working it this way. I love the look of it, and you don't have to pick up stitches afterwards. I love that experience. What I didn't like was picking up the stitches in the I-cord, especially with fingering weight. It goes a little bit smoother with DK weight, or I guess this even worsted weight maybe. But when someone on Instagram suggested an I-cord cast on with immediately active stitches on your needles, I was really interested. It was a video from Very Pink Knits, and you actually just knit an I-cord as you always do, but in the first stitch you make an increase with a knit front back. And that way you have more and more stitches on your right needle while you are knitting on your left needle the I-cord. And I really loved it. It was very easy to do. The only thing I noticed after finishing the I-cord was that my first row, the knit stitches of the first row were very, very big. You can see there are quite some holes in it. And I even redid it because I thought it was me. So I knitted a few rows and then I frocked it and then I re-knitted it, and still the rows are quite, the stitches are quite white. And then someone else texted me. I shared the video on Instagram and someone else texted me and she said, oh, I saw you sharing the Very Pink Knits video. I am having problems with the big first knit stitches, the first row. So I prefer to do it this way. And she sent me another video on Instagram. I have both videos linked down below and also on my project page. So I thought, okay, I have the same problem, so maybe this will work for me. And I had another problem. I forgot to cast on my I-cord on a bigger needle, so it's too tight. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours into something I can frog. It's all part of the process. I know, it can be very frustrating. We must not think about the time we lost. It was learning time. So I need to frog this and redo it and use a bigger needle for the cast on. I will try the next suggestion. I'm a little bit doubting. It would be better if I try it on a swatch first to see what my experience is but I don't know. I just want to cast on the blanket. But of course it makes a difference if you try it on almost 200 stitches or only 20 stitches. So it would be clever to swatch. But I don't know if I am such a clever person. I do know, I'm not. Okay, the other blanket I am working on is my Woodland Ripple. It's a crochet blanket, a pattern by Lucy from Attic 24. And the point with casting on crochet blankets is always when they have a chained base, it's always important to avoid the stitches to be too tight. You don't want it. And in my fear to have too tight stitches, I created a too loose base chain base. You can see they are way too wavy and I redid them. So I also started over 2 times, and the starting over, the beginning process is always quite, yeah, it's not my favorite part. So it's good and nice and neat right now. I did think about the foundation chain, but I don't know. I always get a little bit of itchy feeling, a mental itchy feeling. I don't know how you say it in English. In Dutch we say kriegelig. I did do that for my, how it's called, my lowrider cardigan, and it worked pretty good. But in fingering weight yarn, it didn't make me happy. So it's okay right now. I really love this pattern. I really love the look. This is really an easy pattern to memorize, but it still asks some focus because you have to count, and that makes it a really calming pattern. When your head is busy, filled with all the thoughts, just knit on your Woodland Ripple. You can't think the thoughts because you need to count a little bit. Only until 12 and to 5. And yeah, that's really calming. So, another interesting cast on was on my Audrey in Unst vest. I called it wrong last week. The pattern from Gudrun Johnston. I'm in the middle of a row, but this cast on, it's a bottom-up vest, and this cast on alternates a Longtail cast on with a German twisted cast on. And I don't think I ever, I use them both, but not together, and it really gives a nice stretchy but not too stretchy bottom, and I really love the feeling of that. What I also do when I do a Longtail cast on a lot of stitches, normally I wrap my yarn around my needles, and I always hold them double, so I do that 10 times, so I know this piece of yarn I need for 10 stitches, so 20, 30, 40, and it works. But when you need to cast on over 50 stitches, I guess, over 100 stitches, I prefer to make a slip knot with 2 yarns. I didn't wind up my second yarn skein, so I pulled a little bit out of the middle of my yarn skein and the outer yarn, and I made a slip knot, and that doesn't count as a first stitch because when I was ready I just dropped that stitch, and then you can cast on endless, and that really helps. It's very frustrating when you have to have to cast on a lot of stitches and you ran out of one strand of yarn. That's not nice. Then my last cast on I really loved was for my salty air tea. The salty air tea recommends that was doorbell ringing, but someone's home downstairs. The salty air tea recommends for the cabled cast on. I don't know. I don't think I am needed. The cabled cast on is a knitted cast on, and I don't like doing it. I used it a lot when I was a beginner knitter, and also when I was knitting my rabbits I did use the cable. I used the cable cast on, but I don't love doing it. I prefer the Longtail cast on. So for this one I also replaced the knit 1 purl 1 for knit 2 purl 2, and for this one I alternated the Longtail cast on knitwise with a Longtail cast on purlwise in a knit 2 purl 2 rhythm, and that also worked pretty good. I have linked it all down below, so you can check if you want to. Okay, I'm a little bit distracted by the doorbell and I heard some people chatting, so I want to know who that is. So all the cast-ons are so interesting, and I think specific projects can ask for specific cast-ons. The Longtail Cast-on is my go-to at the moment. I love doing it, I love the look of it. Yeah, when you need a little bit more stretchy cast-on, you need something else. When you need a little bit of different look, you need something else. But it's quite a challenge to find lovely ways among the big amount of different cast-ons. So yeah, I try to write down which cast-ons or bind-offs I use in my knitting book and on my project page, so I can remember next time when I cast on such a project. But quite often I forget to do that. So yeah, I'm very interested in your favorite way of casting on. Then I have a finished object. These are my Shortie socks. They are not particularly short, but these sock blockers are in 2 pieces, and it was not fixed right. These are my Shortie socks. I knitted them on Shorties, and I really want to learn knitting on Shorties. I am definitely a magic loop knitter, but every time I hear someone talk enthusiast about knitting on Shorties, or I see someone knitting on Shorties, I feel something in my inner knitting heart. I want to do that too. So I realized that when you are learning a new technique, it doesn't always go within a flow immediately. Quite often there is a little bit of an uncomfortable phase in which your hands and your head and they need to work together in a different way. So it can be quite a challenge to automize it, to go through that phase and not go back to your normal knitting before you have really learned it. So now I was really motivated to learn it. I knitted. Someone texted me, commented me, I used the verbal did, and it's not really how you use it. So I try to avoid it, but it's really, the verbs and the grammar are really messing them up all the time, I know. And I really thank you for your comment, because that's the way how I learn it. So I love that kind of feedback. I'm not insecure anymore about my English. I really was in the beginning. I felt so bad about it. I felt so ashamed. But you gave me all the uplifting comments, and yeah. I'm still not very good in... No, that's not true. I think I could have been a lot better in English when I would practice and when I would learn and when I would study the grammar and the verbs, but I don't want to do that, and my English is good enough for making a knitting podcast in English. But every now and then some feedback on the grammatical part is very helpful. But just as knitting on Shorties, it takes some time before it will be automized. I started knitting on Magic Loop for the toe, and then I switched to Shorties, and I used my 5cm needle points and my 15cm cable, which makes 25 centimeters, and I guess that's 10 inch, and that was confusing me a little bit because I always heard a 9-inch circular needle, so maybe I measured not right. I think I have one cable shorter I could try, but this way it was actually quite fine. And although my hands didn't really like knitting on the short needle points, they were learning. I only couldn't do it for a longer time after each other, and at some point I switched to English style knitting. One of my Dutch knitting friends told me she's a continental knitter and she always knits her socks on Shorties English style. And then I realized I really love doing that. And I really love that I can do both. And English style was really giving me a good vibe. I tried it a few years ago and it didn't work for me then. But now it was really good, giving me a good vibe. And I could do it for quite a long time after each other. So I was really happy. So I thought, okay, I can knit English style on Shorties. So I'm really happy. I changed to Magic Loop for the ribbing because I just love combination knitting and it worked better on Magic Loop. I definitely will knit a next pair of socks on Shorties too when it are all knit stitches. When I alternate between knit and purl, I prefer magic loop. So it was really lovely. It is sock yarn from Long Yarns. It was gifted to me quite a while ago, a few years ago, and it was still in my stash, and I discovered something fun. It's Long Yarn Super Socks from the Capital Cities series. And I don't know if you can see it, I had no idea, but this is the color Rome. And it's quite fun because I was working on those socks when I was watching the end of the conclave and when the new Pope was called. So I was watching on television that process in Rome, knitting on my Rome socks, and I had no idea. So yeah, really fun. Those socks, I already gifted them to a friend. That was also quite fun. I really wanted to give her these socks, but I didn't want to finish them in time for her birthday. Then I would spend all my knitting, then I should have spent all my knitting time on those socks, and I didn't want to do that. So I just wrapped my work in progress in some gift paper and with the needles in it, and I gave it to her and I said, oh, I have to finish them. And it was quite fun because she was very happy, and she wrapped it out and she gave it back to me. Then knit! Here you have some pie and knit. Yeah, it was no stress, no deadline stress for a birthday, and still happy friend and happy Sarah. So yeah, that was a good thing to experience. Okay, another finished object I made 2 weeks ago, but I haven't shown, is my classic ribbed hat from Purl Soho. Or actually, it's not mine, it's my husband's. I made him a hat for his birthday. I gave him a hat last Christmas. My husband doesn't really like hand knitted items, although it is changing. And I gave him a hat because I gave all my family members a hand knitted piece, and I didn't really have something for my husband, so I thought, okay, let's give him this hat and he can give it to someone else, and it became his favorite hat. So we choose together a new colorway. This yarn is Knitting for Olive merino, and it's a very weird colorway actually. It's ochre brown, and sometimes it looks ochre brown, and sometimes it looks ochre, and sometimes it looks brown, and sometimes it looks green, and it definitely doesn't catch on screen how it is in reality, I guess. I love the crown decreases. It's a very easy knit. I am not a very experienced hat knitter, so I can't compare different hat patterns. This is a free pattern, and I love it because I love the squeeziness of the knit one, purl one, and also the easiness of this hat pattern. You just cast on, then knit quite some centimeters. Be aware that you will lose some length if it's stretched out. I was doubting if mine was long enough. It could have been 1 centimeter longer, but it's not a problem. And then you started crown decreases and it's just finished. It's perfect for knit away some scraps. It's the perfect gift knitting. I knitted this one in less than 1 day while we were camping during the holiday, and it was just a fun quick knit. I knitted on magic loop, and I have a letter. You can see there, and also on the other side. I was aware of that, but I prefer knitting on magic loop. I just love the movement, the rhythm of magic loop, and I thought it will stretch out anyway and the letter will disappear, so who cares. Yeah, really happy with it. My stitches were quite dancing, but blocking made them a little bit straighter. Merino yarn is not really forgivable, but I must confess it is okay. So yeah, lovely little project, good to have on your needles, and I absolutely recommend this pattern. I knitted size 2 for my husband. It's a kid size on 3mm needles. I don't like hats to be too loose. I love them to be a little bit tight, and also the knit one, purl one. Yeah, when I knit it too loose, it gets a little bit floppy and sloppy and messy. And when I knit it on a tight gauge, on a tight size, it will stretch out more beautiful. Okay, one last thing is I modificate an already finished object. This is my light bright sweater. I finished it in February and I actually never wear it. So I was wondering, why don't I wear this sweater? Because I love the look of it, and I realized it was too short. I made it cropped, but I definitely made it too cropped. I was seeing the finish line and and thought, okay, let's bind off, let's start the ribbing. Yeah, but it was a little bit too early. So I added some extra length, and also the neckline was way too wide. I picked up too many stitches, so I picked up at least 30 or maybe 40 stitches less than the first time, and re-knitted this, and now the fit is perfect, and also the length is perfect. I'm wearing more skirts lately than dresses, so it's really lovely to have a little bit of a longer sweater. And yeah, I still don't wear it because it's way too warm. It's knitted in Fiala Lopi. It's quite a rustic Icelandic yarn, and I don't love to wear it when it's warm, so I hope there will be some colder summer or spring days, because I love the look of it. It was really heart jumping to fix a project. It is quite attractive to spend all your knitting and crochet time on new projects, but sometimes when you finish the project and you start wearing it, you notice little things that are not completely how you want them to be. And fixing those things can be very satisfying, but it also always asks a little bit of motivation to redo some parts on the finished object. Finished is finished. It always slows down my process of doing that. But when I did this, it made me so happy that I checked my basket. I put all the garments in a big basket, no, in a big bag, which I want to change something about. And I already picked my next one. This is my Sommerknus. I made it last year. It was really a lovely knit. I really enjoyed it, but I also made it too cropped. I know I was doubting about it. I don't know. I was doubting about it, but it definitely needs some length, especially because I'm wearing skirts right now. I have some yarn left. The only thing is my needle size, which I am knitting on, is busy knitting another guest of my cast-on party. So we shall see how well we do it, but I will keep it close to me so I won't forget it. I know it will be very lovely when I can wear the Sommerknus yeah, in a better way than it's now. Okay, oh, I have something else very exciting to share. I have some plans, very exciting plans for November this year, 8 and 9 November. I am invited to join a new yarn festival in Switzerland, in Zurich. It is called Knitfest. It's organized by lovely Emily and Rebecca, and it's complete new. They are organizing a yarn festival with all the vendors, all the teachers, all the speakers, all the knitters, all the crocheters, and it's all about be inspired and connecting and all those things. And it sounds really heart jumping, and I was so happy when they reached out to me and asked me if I want to join, if I wanted to come as a speaker. That's way far out of my comfort zone, but feel the fear and do it anyway. So I will travel to Switzerland. I have never been to Zurich, but I'm very excited because when I started making episodes for my knitting podcast, knitting and crochet podcast in English, I did do it in Dutch for quite a while, but then I started a few years ago in English too. That was really because I wanted to feel connected with the worldwide knitting and crochet community. And that I really feel connected with the worldwide knitting and crochet community. I think that's really inspiring and heart jumping. It really gives me a good feeling. And visiting a yarn festival in another country is really also part of that connecting with the worldwide community. I never visited a yarn festival in another country. So I'm really excited to do that, and I think this will be the perfect weekend to come from a little bit further. Of course it's brand new, but it looks so good and professional organized, and you can check the website. I will link it down below, and the Instagram page. They are sharing all the information, very detailed, inspiring information, practical information, and they are of course very busy organizing behind the scenes, but it looks very professional and well organized. And yeah, I think it will be a lovely weekend, and I would be so excited to meet some of the viewers of the podcast. I have no idea. If you have plans to visit that yarn festival, please let me know. That would be really special to me. So yeah, of course I will share more details when I know more. When it's November, it's 6 months now, but it will be November in a minute. I need to knit something for Knitfest. I have no idea. I didn't think about that. I need to invite a Knitfest guest on my cast on party. I will think about that. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So yeah, please check all the information, check the Instagram, check the website if you are interested, because I think it will be a lovely weekend. Okay, this was it for today. I will spend my time together with all the guests on my cast on party. I will give them a little bit of attention, and I will enjoy myself. I think organizing a party is always a little bit of hard work, but also very satisfying. So I think I'm enjoying it. And I absolutely am sure I can share some more things about it next week. Thank you for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I want to say what I always say, but it doesn't pop up. Be sure you have enough heart jumping moments. If you can't find them, create them, because we need them. That was it. Okay, bye bye.